What's up guys, welcome back to Awesome Eats. Today I want to show you how to make the cheapest and best steak. I want my steak to be tender, I want it to be juicy, I want it to be like medium and pink in the middle, but I don't have $100 to spend on a steakhouse or a porterhouse. So today we have a flank steak. So today here we have a flank steak, and flank steak is one of the cheaper cuts of the cow. It's a belly cut, so it's a navel cut from the belly of the cow. It's really cheap, but if you cut this and cook this correctly, it tastes as good as a sirloin, as a New York strip. So bear with me and check it out. We have a super hot frying pan in here. The frying pan is smoking, and we're gonna season our steak with salt. A lot of salt. It looks like a lot of salt, but half of the salt is going to fall off anyway in the frying pan. Other side as well. Now we're going to use a cooking oil. This is an oil that can heat up really, really high without burning or scorching. Not too much, but a considerable amount. And now you can see all the smoke. We need this heat. We need this heat to get browning on the meat. Good, good. I want the entire surface of the meat to become brown, but if I just leave it in here, some parts will be white, some parts will be brown. So I like to keep it moving. I like to rotate it a little bit around in the pan, just so I don't have some white spots and some brown spots. And I like to flip my steak frequently as well. So what happens if you flip the steak regularly, the outside becomes really nice and brown, but the inside becomes pink all the way through. That's really key. As you can tell on the meat, it's becoming nice and brown and caramelized. That's where all the flavor is. These deep beef flavors come from these brown parts. Another couple of flips. How are you going to check if your steak is done? You could press your hand and know by the texture, or touch your face or whatever, but it's way more precise with a thermometer. I'm just going to stick it in the thickest part. And it says 33 degrees. So it's 33 degrees, it's not done yet. 33 degrees is like pretty warm room temperature. I want it to go to 55, which is medium rare, and then we're gonna let it rest. If it's 55 at the thickest part, it's gonna be 55 all the way through. Some parts are even gonna be a little bit more medium. That's how I like it. That's the good part about this flank steak. There's a little bit of everything. There's a little bit of rare, a little bit of medium, and for you crazy people who like well done, I like it too sometimes. Don't discriminate. Okay, so we're reaching 40. I'm just gonna add some butter, and we're gonna start basting the steak. This is a very lean cut of meat. It needs a little fat. Don't be shy. Now I've got some garlic cloves as well. I'm just going to smash them with my knife. You can see. One cut in the middle. Skin and everything into the frying pan. While we still have the fat and while we still have the heat, I'm gonna add some shishito peppers. Shishito peppers are like pepperoni. They're like bell peppers, just really small, a little more spicy, and they give a nice little addition to the steak. Right in here. I just took the temperature of the steak. It's approximately 56 degrees. I'm gonna take it out, let it rest on a plate. Now comes the hardest part. We have to wait till this piece of steak rests. We're gonna have to wait another 5 to 10 minutes just so it cools down. It was just under a lot of stress We want to let it relax so the muscle can reabsorb all the juices it has. If we cut into it right now, all the juice runs out. And all this work was for nothing. Don't do this for nothing. So since we're outdoors in this scrappy kitchen, we're going to serve it very rustically. We're going to put the peppers down. Don't forget the garlic. The garlic is a lot of flavor right there. Some people like it, some people don't, but they can pick it themselves, you know? You want to give them that option. A little science lesson. As you can see, this is the grain of the meat. It goes this way. So if we cut this way, it will be much harder to chew. We're going to cut against the grain, and if we cut against the grain of the meat, it will become really nice and tender. Here, we cut with the grain. We're cutting with the fibers. And now we have the long fiber. We cut with the fibers, and now we have the long fiber. This will be really, really hard to chew. But if we cut against the grain, you can see. Here we have the short fiber. We can break it up really easily. And here we have the long fiber, which is much harder to chew. Hence, we're going to cut it against the grain. Here it's going to be a little bit more medium, but the closer we go to the center part, the more rare it's going to be. Like a proper steak in a restaurant. Add some pepper. And not to forget this butter that we had before. Goes on top. And there we have it! Our incredibly tasty steak from a really cheap cut of meat. I hope you enjoyed this video. As you can see, it's still nice and pink in the middle, nice and medium. And it's tender. How tender? This is a more well done piece. But you have everything here. You've got super rare, you've got medium, and you've got well done. There's a little something for everyone on here. My God. It's so good. Let's take some photos.